gritty synth bass vocal burp like sample thing? But hey everyone, my name is Christoph Jakob, I'm a music composer for video games, and today let's check out one of the new single-player tracks from Splatoon 3. This pumps you up so much. If this intro doesn't scream Splatoon, then I don't know what does. All instruments are playing a fanfare in unison, which basically means that they are playing the same thing at the same time. The music we just heard plays in the first few stages of Hero Mode, all the stages that basically function as a tutorial for this game. Does the music sound like your typical tutorial tune though? Tutorial music in Nintendo games is usually very simplistic, lighthearted and quirky. Is the music for these CRATER stages quirky? I'd say yes, obviously. Is the music simplistic? It probably depends. There are some elements that make this tune really interesting to listen to, and I wouldn't expect anything else from this franchise. The drums provide a consistent march-like groove with little variation, a solid rhythmic foundation to keep the player on track and to not distract them too much. The bass line is a combination of a gritty synth bass vocal burp-like sample thing, as well as a sporadically reappearing slap bass, to give certain parts of the bass line a little more of a spotlight to shine through. Honestly, any video game music that features a slap bass is automatically a 10 out of 10 in my book. I find it interesting how the bass is the only really melodic instrument in this entire first little section. There is also a brass section, but this brass section just keeps repeating the same note over and over again. Later on it does sound to start a little more like a melody though. Key change. It's working towards something. I can feel it. After roughly half a minute we get a key change from A minor a full step up to B minor. The synth that sounds like a saxophone, or maybe it is a real saxophone, I'm actually not quite sure, is playing the main melody now. Honestly, all instruments are pretty much just going along with the groove. It's not really melodically interesting in my opinion. Oh, it's the plugin. Delay llama. This part here that I'm going to call the climax part of the tune now is just so damn catchy. It's such an earworm. After I heard it for the first time, I just couldn't get it out of my head again. And I'm not complaining. I think there's a good reason for why this part sounds so catchy though. This lead instrument that sounds an awful lot like a plugin called Delay Llama. You should look that up. It's just so odd sounding that it automatically gets ingrained into your brain. The way the melody is composed also contributes pretty much to its intrusive character. The bass has been doing this the entire time, but now the melody is also focusing on the flat 5 or sharp 4 or tritone. They basically describe the same kind of sound, which sounds very dissonant, which can sound very dissonant in relation to the root note. Including what I like to call unusual notes into your melody automatically makes them more interesting, as long as you don't go overboard. The melody also gives off Dorian vibes. Dorian is basically a minor scale, but instead of the flat 6, which is a very typical note for the minor scale, we have a regular 6, which is typical for the major scale. This kind of Dorian sound is actually very typical for Splatoon music in general. Here are two other quick Splatoon songs that have this Dorian vibe. If you recognize these tunes, let me know in the comments below. The Dorian scale is basically a brighter, overall more positive or less sad, less tragic sounding scale. And I mean, you've listened to the tune yourself. It's in different minor keys, but never does it sound even remotely sad or tragic or anything like that. This part is also great. This tune was quite a banger. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see more reaction or analysis kind of videos, you can click here. I've also written my own little Splatoon inspired soundtrack. If you'd like to check that out, you can click here. And if you'd like to listen to some of the music that I've written for video games, you can click here. See you next time.